It's a huge area of the city we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a large crowd. They, like you said, they're all on 22nd Street. They're all on Vine Street. They're marching this way towards Center City now, towards the Ben Franklin Bridge. And the crowd continues to grow. And traffic is stopped on 676 in both directions. TAC Air is overhead, circling the crowd. They're letting some cars are getting through here now. The crowd is on the march.
If you could pull out for me, what impact is this having on traffic? Because we've got the overpasses, 22nd is shut down. The Vine clearly shut down because of these protesters. And of course, this is the artery that goes out toward the Schuylkill. We already had construction on part of the over there by University City. So this is most certainly having an impact, it looks like, for anyone that's coming into the city and anyone that was on the Vine as well. My goodness, this is creating a traffic mess.
It pretty much has 76 and 676 shut down now. The eastbound, earlier today, you had to get off and come across 676. I'm not sure if that's still in effect, but it looks like traffic is jammed up on 676 back for a few miles at least.
All right, it is 5 o'clock here, and if you're just joining us, you're looking at live coverage here of a protest that has really grown significantly over the past 2.5 hours or so. This protest started much smaller, a peaceful protest. They have been walking around many areas. They had gone down by City Hall. They were over there by Independence Mall. They've circled around, and now this protest, which has really grown in size, is now on the Vine Street Expressway, 22nd Street. They came down 22nd Street. They've made it onto the Vine Street Expressway around police officers who were trying to prevent that. And now it looks like they are walking eastbound toward Center City on the Vine Street Expressway. Cars not moving at all. Traffic completely stopped on 76 and 676. A lot of the people in their cars just taking video of this, of a massive protest. At this point has been, for the most part, peaceful. Jeremy, I know you said earlier you saw maybe a few people being arrested, but at this point not clear for what. But for the most part, peaceful. But you can see that the size and scope of this crowd.
What?
Okay, I'm not sure what happened just now, but there are people. All right, we've got people running now, scattering on the Vine Street Expressway. Someone is hurt. I'm not sure. Jeremy, can you pull out a little?
Suddenly everybody just started running. They're all clearing off to the side of the road as fast as they can. Somebody got hurt, and the other protesters stopped to pick them up. Whatever's going on is going on underground here. It's under the stretch where I just can't see.
Yeah, something happened.
Everybody's running backwards.
Let's go back to that area, Jeremy, if you would. Looks like something happened underneath that overpass that we can't see, but the protesters scattered for a little bit. My colleague Jim Rosenfield is live with a little bit more. Jim, I know you're looking at what I'm looking at.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm here with you in the newsroom, so we're watching this together unfolding live here on NBC 10. Keep in mind, this has been going on, started about 3:45 this afternoon, right, Aaron? We went on the air and we saw these protesters peacefully marching right around police headquarters, around 3:45, and then they kind of made their way to Independence Hall, and then they turned around and they went towards Center City once again, and then they got on the Ben Franklin Parkway. There you see one of them on his knees or her knees with their arms raised, and others are joining in as well. They're at the 20th Street?
20th Street.
Yeah, 20th Street overpass, underneath it.
You can also see that it appears to state troopers are on the scene right now. This is the first time we have seen a state trooper vehicle. We've got some officers, looks to be underneath that 20th Street overpass.
Yeah, they're spraying them.
Spraying something.
Yeah. And those protesters with their arms up. Obviously, the Vine Street Expressway is closed. We saw these demonstrators swarming down onto the expressway, Aaron, from the 22nd Street off-ramp. They broke through a fence there, as you were mentioning live, to make their way onto the expressway, and then surrounded cars that had come to a stop because of the size of the crowd that just came right down onto the roadway. And there you see some of those cars that are stopped and surrounded.
Yeah, as Jeremy gives us a bird's eye view from Skyforce 10, traffic in both directions here on the Vine Street Expressway not moving. Traffic at a standstill as this massive crowd, and we should say this is just some of the crowd that is on the Vine at this point. There are many more on the overpasses and kind of scattered about. But it appears that, yeah, see, here's another group of them. It looks like they are getting off of the Vine Street Expressway now, going back up, and that's clearly the intent of the state troopers that are here to try and get the folks off of this major artery through Philadelphia, out of the street, get these cars out of there. Many of them running, many of them moving very quickly to get out of here.
There's something about this. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Sorry.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, it seems like everybody's moving away very fast. Whatever's going on underneath the overpass there is working and pushing everyone off of 676.
I was going to note that there is something about this time period, this hour of the day. Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it around this time that we saw the same kind of highway stoppage on Saturday, and then things went downhill from there after what was very peaceful demonstrating?
Absolutely. And as you noted, we've been watching this for some time. We really haven't had any incidents. People have been peaceful for the most part. Now, again, we don't know exactly what these protesters may be saying to police officers, to state troopers, but they've been peaceful for the most part in terms of we haven't seen anyone throwing anything or anything like that. But now you can see state police officers were able to get these folks off of the eastbound lanes. They are making their way over the westbound lanes.
Some of them carrying their bikes.
Yeah, they're getting out of there in a hurry. We did see a minute ago them spraying something.
I got a lot of it, folks.
Yeah, they're using that material, that spray, to try to disperse them, move them in a certain direction. They're climbing the hill on the side of the expressway.
Our producer, Jim, is saying tear gas that they're using to get people out of there very fast. And boy, did these folks move out of there. They're moving back up that hill.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that may be part of it right there. I'm not sure if that is a tear gas canister or what, but you can see that the cars are getting out of there, the people are getting out of there. There's some folks that are very, very close by to that canister, but in a matter of minutes, this huge crowd of thousands of people that have made their way onto the Vine Street Expressway, they have gotten out of there. So there's another little smoke plume right there. These state troopers are really trying to get the situation out of control. Now it appears perhaps that the protesters are throwing things back.
Yes, it does. That tear gas, obviously an irritant, extremely irritating. If you're in that smoke and in that gas, it'll get you moving. We saw over the weekend Matt DeLucia came close to it and had to move his location with his crew. It gets in your lungs.
And the protesters then throwing it back. We saw at least 2 or 3 canisters of that tear gas going back onto the Vine Street Expressway, and the officer throwing it back at, oh my goodness. All of this happening, unfolding literally right next to the Vine Street Expressway. Someone tumbling down that.
That's a steep hill, and we're seeing people falling backwards and rolling down the hill. We don't want to see anybody getting hurt here.
This is not what we want to see. If you're just joining us, again, you're watching NBC 10 live coverage of a massive protest that had made its way down onto the Vine Street Expressway. Pennsylvania State Police trying to get people off of the expressway. We've seen tear gas canisters, multiple tear gas canisters being deployed here, and a lot of people trying to get back over this fence, though. Remember how they got down to the Vine Street Expressway in the first place. They got around a line of police officers, Philadelphia police officers, by taking 3 little links out of a fence there. So now they've got to try and get back over that fence after they climb this steep hill and get away from this tear gas, Jim.
Yeah, and if you're in that plume of smoke from the tear gas, you're going to have a tough time breathing, and you're also on a steep incline there trying to get out of the smoke itself and the gas, and that's going to make you cough. It's going to make it hard to breathe. So that's an unpleasant experience. But officers doing whatever they can to try to clear them off the expressway so the traffic can move.
Yeah, you can see most of those protesters are off the expressway at this point, but the officers are still there making sure they clear them way out of the way. They're clearing them onto 22nd Street. That, as you can see, that's a major thoroughfare. So they're trying to get one situation under control and then get this crowd presumably off of 22nd. So that comes next. They've got to get the Vine open, and you can see this picture got really hazy because of all of the tear gas that's in the air right now.
We saw some possibly officers on bikes at the top of your screen. I couldn't make out whether they were officers or protesters, but they look to be officers. So they are very mobile. Obviously, they move around quickly, and we've seen them over the weekend on their bikes roving around Center City. One way for Philly police to make their way around these crowds.
You can see that the officers are still throwing things into the air. I believe that was officers. We saw some people from the overpass throwing things to traffic cones below at the troopers there on the highway. We see at least several people under arrest. There's taking one person with zip ties around.
Yeah, it's interesting. Our producers are noting to see on some of these monitors here, Aaron, but some of those bicycles they were on were the Indigo rental bike.
Okay.
Officers are now pulling away. Available at those rental stations that we see around Center City. Yeah, those are the blue bikes. Probably all seen those.
And this crowd has definitely dispersed. There's still quite a few people here in this area, 22nd Street, and in this tree line. Difficult to see in this tree line how many people are still here. Jeremy Haas is in Skyforce 10. Jeremy, I'm not sure if you can see any clearer. You've been.
The crowd really has dispersed. I mean, it's all over the place now. There's people trying to get off the highway, and they got to climb over that fence, and that's what's slowing them down. And then, like you said, it's a lot of those Indigo rental bikes are down in the pile that the cops are throwing off onto the road. And then, I mean, everybody's gone every direction. And if we go back towards the Free Library, there's a large police presence there, and that's kind of the direction the crowd is going. But right now, it seems like everybody has gone in different directions. That big crowd is almost nowhere to be seen, and there's so many people that scattered.
Looks like the bicycle officers are there, mobilized, ready to go. If you can take us back over, Jeremy. Yeah, people are going in every direction. You said it, and I'm not sure when they're going to get the Vine Street Expressway completely clear, because it looks like they're still
throwing tear gas down here at 22nd and Vine.
Yeah. All these officers that are here, Jeremy, if you can see this, all these officers that are here on the side, are these officers or are these people that are under arrest? What's going on here?
It's a little bit of both.
A lot of arrestees there.
Troopers, and then they got everyone arrested along that wall.
They've got their arms behind their back, obviously, with the plastic wrist ties.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
tear gas still going off.
But yeah, a lot of the people who couldn't make it over the fence, I guess, they're all being arrested now.
Wow.
Some of them enduring tear gas is being thrown back down the hill.
Yeah, that's
are they still trying to get over that
from other
fence?
protesters.
And you can see, I mean, this is really indicative of how quickly people tried to get out of there. Look at all the stuff that's
Look in the middle of your screen, this person in the red being dragged down the hill. Black shorts, red shirt right there. Must be a woman.
She's got zip ties. She's cuffed. She's got her hands behind the back.
She's in custody. A little bit easier for them to get onto the expressway than it was for them to get off the expressway. They found themselves at a point where it was a tough climb. And then there you see the fence, the concrete wall, and then a fence that you had to get back over.
Yeah,
Not so
if they'd
easy.
gone back where they came from, they would have had a better, easier to get off. But where they got trapped, they couldn't get across.
Yeah. And you can see officers there still arresting people, still detaining people.
And it's a very steep hill to go up and down too, especially if you're covered.
Earlier today, I was near Independence Hall, and I did notice that they had fenced off with the metal barricades the portion of the mall that was directly in front of Independence Hall. The other portion back towards the Constitution Center was opened up, but they wanted to protect that area. So the city obviously was prepared for them to be in that area, and they had closed off some streets to traffic to allow the protesters to march through the streets. And we watched them go to police headquarters, to Independence Hall, through Center City this afternoon. This has been going on since before 4 o'clock. Now they're dispersed, and the question is, what's next? There
Yeah.
you see traffic. It looks like traffic is moving again, at least on that one.
Yeah, that looks like it's all cop cars.
That does look like, yeah, official.
Yeah,
police.
and then there is a small group over here by the Free Library. Just that's about as far away as they've gone so far.
What about traffic, Jeremy, getting in and out of the city on the Vine Street Expressway? Because we know this has been closed down for maybe 30 minutes now, and it was at a standstill. It
Yeah,
still
and
is.
As I pull out and pan back, you can see it. It hasn't gone anywhere coming into the city from 76. And then 76 is also still shut down right there at Vine Street, so it's backed up for about as far as you can see.
Still not a normal rush hour. Obviously, we're still in a lot of restrictions in terms of COVID-19. We don't see the normal volume of traffic, but with this going on, all cars right there are at a standstill, so it kind of does look like a normal commute. But it's 5:15 in the afternoon. A lot of businesses in Center City still closed, not yet reopened. There was